Hi everyone, I am going to be working with these new watercolors from Dandelion Studios. I will link the shop below. This is going to be kind of like a work along for the prompts that I've been sharing in my Substack. If you missed it, let me see if I can find it. I have expanded the work that I'm doing for the Iridescent Explorations, which is kind of like an inner quest to get to know your inner artist and to get in touch with your creativity, to share gratitude with your creativity and work past blocks. So like the first week was creating the map to your inner wildlands, and nope, hang on. Then I had a bunch of side quests, and one of them was creating an altar either in real life or on one of your journal pages to, what was it? Yeah, building an altar to your creativity, whatever speaks to you in a spiritual practice. As far as how much your creativity is intertwined with your creative practice, include an offering to the land of your wild artist heart. This is something that you can do whenever you feel stuck and truly don't know how to proceed. If you can't make an altar in real life, create an altar as a journal spread. And so I created one. I have an altar in real life. Comment below if you would like me to do an altar tour. I'm happy to do that. But this is the altar spread that I made. It's just something to spark creativity, to honor my creativity, and yeah, I just have a lot of love for this process that has been downloading for the Iridescent Explorations. It first started as a mini zine with like some random prompts that kind of went together but not really, and now it's really evolved way past that. And I'm excited to see where it goes. I have a few more weeks of prompts planned out, but I'm hoping to continue it even further past that. So go check out Substack if you haven't. This was the building an avatar for your journey was my original mini zine. I've expanded on it a little bit for the post that is coming out today. And so I thought I would use my watercolors today and design a character with you guys here on my YouTube channel to include in the post. This is the first avatar I created. Her name was Hope, based off of Hope Punk, and basically coming from a space of avoiding apathy in my day-to-day life. That's as someone in recovery, who gave a lot of time over to apathy about what happened in the world around them. Staying engaged and being aware is very, very important to me. So this is, of course, Hope has her magic books with her. They are a talisman for good and a spell for bright future. She carries it in her favorite backpack and only shares it with fellow explorers. She may seem aloof, but she does care. Showing up is her superpower, and she is always on an adventure to learn more. She is unsure of who she is, so she rules nothing out. No more puppet life. She is no one's doll anymore. There is only her heart to listen to. And I did it kind of a map with this cutout image from a magazine. Dressed fancy but comfortable, kick-ass boots, minimal adornments, loose hair, don't care, dance it out, and then activation. And I'm going to expand on this a little bit, on this character. So this is kind of like what I am going from originally. And I'm just hoping to like further expand on it. So with you guys here today, I'm just going to be doing the character design. And then I will share in my Substack post, I will share like the final spread as it turns out. my kids got a Lunchable, and I had this, it came with this little water bottle, and so I've been using it reusing it to hold paint water for now. These are earth pigments from Dandelion Studios that I got in the mail yesterday, and they're really fun. I played with them and swatched them in my stories already. I was very impressed with how like bright they turn out. So I am just setting up the face details. I'm just trying to make this a fun process, imagining kind of what this might entail. Because it's less about like what the character looks like and more about like the attitude and confidence and what they bring to the table for your creativity, right? And right now I'm feeling super inspired by these watercolors, so that is what I'm choosing to work with. I'm gonna try doing a little bit of mixing. So I'm going to say up front that I am not like super, I don't mix a lot of colors, paint colors. And so I've held off on getting like a more limited palette like this before, but honestly, I thought that it might be like a fun challenge to just get outside my comfort zone. So now I'm trying to get to sort of like, it doesn't need to look like me, but I am going for like a hair color, and I have brown hair, and I like brown hair. So that's what I'm going for my avatar. So I went ahead and I really like the brown that I mixed. I used some pink, some of the like fuchsia, some of the rose pink, yellow and blue together. And I just kept mixing until I got the color that I wanted. I mean, it's brown. I don't know about you guys, but like as a messy artist, I end up with muddy paint colors quite a bit. Like I'm just not good at mixing colors. And I apologize. We are all getting over a sinus infection at my house. At least I think that's what it is. Yeah, so I might sound a little bit like I've been sick, and that's because I have been. And I think I'm gonna go in and like add to this like after the fact with like pen. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I'll just see how it ends up, to be honest. And I have to say, like, a lot of the illustrations that I do, paintings that I do, is like a lot of just figuring it out as I go. And sometimes it leads to something cool and sometimes it doesn't. But that's all part of the process, right? I really don't like how that mouth is looking, so I'm gonna kind of like blend it in. Which is making the face look a tad more pink than I wanted it to. But just take some of that out. And I'm doing this in my composition notebook. I haven't really done a journal breakdown in a while, but that is what I've mainly been working in after my moleskin expanded. And it's been, you know, it's something I can work in no matter what. I found a store, and Lord help me, I can't remember what store now that I need to find it again. But I found the composition notebooks with the grid paper that I really like. And it's like thin. It almost feels like the Tomoe River paper. Tomoe, I don't know how you pronounce it. But the paper is like very comparable to like Hobonichi, right? And it's a composition notebook, and it's got grid paper, which is my favorite kind. And so I should have bought like, and it was like really inexpensive. It was only like $1. I used to have to order them like at Amazon, which I don't care for ordering from Amazon. Yeah, so now I'm about halfway through this book. I gotta figure out where I found it, or I'm gonna have to get it off Amazon, which I'm hoping to avoid. So this is still a little messy, but that's okay. One of the things about this challenge that I'm doing is not necessarily to make like breathtaking art, right? It's more about being in relationship with your creativity and respecting your creative processes and understanding that what we make as artists in relationship with our creativity is special and is something all on its own. And I think that if we can get to a point where we stop feeling like we have to come up with this like groundbreaking, amazing thing, or we have to create this breathtaking art, and we can just show up to the page and trust that something's gonna happen. And it's not always gonna be fabulous, but that's okay. Because sometimes it is gonna be fabulous. You're almost always gonna feel better when you're done. And I think that's kind of the goal. With this little program that has been coming through for me. I wanted a mouth that was a little bit more like, it was just a little bit smaller. I also have developed, I don't think it's like fully rosacea, but I get very flushed really easily, and you know, I feel a little self-conscious about it, but it's something that has happened since I've had kids, and I'm including it here because it's something that is just like a part of me now. It's definitely a part of me, like, as a mom. And I think that's important, that we don't use the chance to build an avatar to cover up what we see as our shortcomings or what we see as things that we should be embarrassed of. Instead, I'm going to embrace that, and I'm going to include that because I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. We're all human, and there is nothing remotely wrong with showing up as human. That being said, if you're designing your avatar and you decided that you wanted to be some kind of like cryptid or some kind of anything, like, that's okay. It can be as fun as you want it to be. I just don't want you to feel like, I guess I don't want it to feel like you're building something different from yourself because you don't view yourself as worthy. I feel like the sanctity of our creativity would maybe pick up on that, and not appreciate that treatment of ourselves, personally. Like, I'm drawing or painting this character that I'm creating with a dress because I prefer wearing dresses all the time. It's actually only recently that I started wearing pants sometimes, and that is like purely out of convenience when like I need to be able to move easily with my kiddos. And I'm choosing green. For those of you who have gone through the Layered Intention series that I have here on the channel, you will notice that like I'm putting thought into literally every aspect of this. I'm using green because one of my goals for this summer and like in my life overall is getting more connected to nature. And what better way to do that than the color green, right? We actually went camping. Well, we went and hung out at the campground that that some of our family stays at, and kayaked, and I went fishing for the first time last weekend, or no, 2 weekends ago. And shockingly have been the one catching like all the fish when we do go fishing. The first time I caught like 10 bluegill, and the second time I caught a bluegill and 4 catfish, I think. And the second time that was all with one worm. It was very wild. And anyways, I'm telling this story because I am not someone who does these things. Like the outdoorsy hunting, fishing type things. But I will tell you that I've been working with affirmations. And I don't think that affirmations are like an end-all be-all. I don't really know if they're the route to like manifestation necessarily, but I think affirmations that focus on our personal mindsets and personal beliefs about ourselves and our circumstances, I think that can be very powerful in reprogramming our subconscious. So I operate with a lot of fear. I have really bad anxiety, and I just don't like being in situations where I feel uncomfortable, and I feel uncomfortable like 95% of the time, which leads me to avoiding a lot of things, right? And so I started working with affirmations, specifically around like releasing fear and being brave and confident. And it hasn't like solved all my problems, but like I went fishing for the first time. I even put the worm on. After the first like 2 times that I was shown, I took the fish off the hook myself. I've just kind of been like surprising myself lately with like the things that I've done that in the like Ricky in the past maybe would not have done. And part of why I'm sharing that is because we're talking about connecting with nature, but also some of the prompts in Iridescent Explorations include instructions to create an affirmation for yourself and then write it out. Like I write mine out. I think I have like 8 that I'm working with right now, and I write them out every morning 10 times a piece. Seems a little tedious, but I've tried a lot of ways of working with affirmations, and this is like the first time I feel like I've actually seen results. I'm trying to create a body that, you know, it obviously is not an anatomical drawing. Like I'm not so good at like the life drawing. So I mean, this is an illustration, but I'm drawing a body that feels reminiscent of mine. Because again, the goal is not to create some ideal standard that we're working towards, right? So far, I'm really enjoying the watercolors. I've only played with them abstractly before now. Oh, that's a little too much. But I gotta say, I like how they look. These are all natural earth pigments. And I don't remember the name of the palette that I got, but this is one of the pocket palettes. I think it was $25. You know, it wasn't like super inaccessible for what you're getting, in my opinion. And they're pretty fabulous. So definitely, and it's a small business. I think we can all get on board with supporting a small business. So I will link the shop below. So definitely go check her out. Sorry, I don't know the creator's name. I just know it's Dandelion Studios. So go check them out. Okay. I'm gonna add some yellow to the hair. This yellow is like one of the brighter colors. And kind of give you like I like that that's lightened up a little bit. It also, you know, looks a little bit darker on the underneath, which is something I usually go for. Like I said, this doesn't, something that I emphasize when sharing the prompts is that you can do this however you want. You can use collage. You can do this totally abstractly. You could just make like a mood board. You could just use words and write it out. Like, it doesn't have to be some like crazy, beautiful masterpiece. We just want to make space for what we are trying to create in these creativity meditations and how we're trying to connect. And making something in our journal helps us make space for that in our brain. I'm also just trying to use, excuse me, just trying to use like all the colors so you guys can kind of get an idea of how amazing these are. So I would love it if you guys tag me on Instagram and use the hashtag Iridescent Explorations, which I know is a little bit of a hefty title, but that's what came to me at the time when I made the mini zine, and I like it. But definitely tag me if you use any of the prompts and you feel compelled to share. Of course, you don't have to share. It can get pretty personal. I don't intend on sharing all of them. Something I should mention is that I originally was going to have the side quests as an option for paid subscribers on the Substack only. And then I don't know, I got onto Substack yesterday and I was just like, you know, it's not feeling very fun to like limit these, and it's not feeling very fun to try to advertise a paid Substack right now. Like, it felt like it was being more hindering than it was helping. And so I turned off paid subscriptions and I unpaywalled all my posts. So that being said, all digital copies, almost all digital copies of my zines are available. on my Substack archive right now. You don't even have to subscribe to get access to them. I would love it if you'd subscribe. I share a lot about my own creative journey. And I plan on like continuing to prioritize and build that space. But only if that feels right for you. If you just want to go get the free stuff, that's fine too. All right. So my little character is done. All I'm going to do now is decided I'm going to do like a little swatch section for you. So this is the yellow. There's the green. The blue. And purple. I like how soft these colors are. It's definitely like out of what I normally work with, and I think I've needed that. This is like a fuchsia. Like a dusty pink. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the rest of the prompts, which will be on Substack today. And I'm going to like add writing. I'm not going to add any line work to the illustration. I don't think. We'll see. But I'll add writing to the pages and kind of like break down my answers for the prompts, and like this is the illustration that will go with it. So leave a comment below if you are thinking about joining in the fun, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this little session with these new watercolors. I'm definitely gonna go get their other pocket palette that they have because these are fabulous. I really enjoy working with them. Okay everyone, bye.